hope you've got some time today. We are going to talk about how to tell if someone is giving you a lie or if they're just plain lying to you. Okay? So I've written down 7 things. There are probably a whole bunch more, but these are the ones we're going to cover today. And they will get you started because probably every video I do, I'm going to say something about people who tell lies and how to figure it out. Okay? So the first thing is body language. Watch their body language. People who tell lies are nervous. They're looking all around. They're trying to find some way physically to handle the stress they feel because they're telling a lie. There's a lot of politicians that I watch. Some of them get mad and angry because they think that that's going to make you trust them more. Some of them talk quieter or whisper into the mic. That's a new thing to do, you know. And it's all about just trying to distract you from the fact that they're telling a lie. So watch their body language. Some people have tails. So if they're a good friend or if they're an acquaintance or whatever, they may talk to you like this all the time. And then all of a sudden, well, you know, I saw this the other day and you really need to pay attention to this because I'm sure this is going to be really cool. Do you see what I'm doing with my hand? I know a person that's their tell. When they're lying, they're doing this. There's other people that when they lie, they bite their lip. I've seen other people who twirl their thumbs when they're lying. Look for the body language. That's number 1. Number 2 is consistency. If you've ever taken, and let me remember. See, I'm looking up right now because I'm trying to remember. Is it the MMPI, Minnesota Multiphasic Personality? And I forget what the I is for. But if you've ever taken that test, there are 4 questions in it that I think there's 500 questions that you're supposed to go through in a timed amount. And so you answer them very quickly. So you can't stop and think about them. And there are 4 questions that they consider the base of what they're trying to find out if you're telling the truth about your personality or your life. And those 4 questions pop up in a little different version all through the test. And the reason they do this is people who lie can't always remember all the details of their lie. So they will be inconsistent. They will say it, yes, today, and well, maybe tomorrow, and add something to it. And then, well, you mean I said that? Well, I'm sure I meant, and then they'll add something else. So if you want to know if someone is telling you the truth, go back and look at other comments that they have made and see if they are consistent with the one they are making now. That's part of the reason why when I'm talking, sometimes it takes me a long time to get to the point because I want to bring all the comments and things that I've said full circle to say, this is why I'm saying this now. And if there are any reasons that you might stray from this, then here's why those reasons still fit. If you can't put together a neat little package, you probably don't have absolute truth. So I can say things about abortion and how I feel on that. And yes, you are going to get a video on that. But I can say how I feel about abortion and yet have an exception to the rule when the mother's life is in danger. See what I mean? But I have to make sure that exception fits with absolute truth so that I can talk to you completely about the issue. So if you're wondering if someone is lying to you, there's some words that they may use. Oh, I misspoke. That's code word for lie. Or I was a different person then. Really? Okay, then I want to know what helped you to change. Because if there wasn't an event or something that happened that you can point to and be solid about and say, this is why I changed, then no, you probably didn't. You're probably still thinking the same thing, just wording it in a different way. So make sure the people that you trust for the truth are consistent. If they are not consistent in what they say, there's something wrong, and you need to do more research. The third one, you need to investigate who they identify with or who they join up with, because that changes everything. A liar to get more views, to get more people following them, to get your trust on something they want you to do, will say one thing, but in the background, they're with a group of people that you know are liars. See what I mean? The people you run with, identify with, join with, they change you. They will not tolerate you being in other groups. So they change you. And if you're reaching out to another group, you need to be able to prove, hey, I'm sorry, don't identify me with them because that's not me. And when you're looking for truth in someone, say a politician, a teacher, a mentor, someone at work, whatever, be sure that you look at who they spend their time with, because those people influence every decision they make and you can determine whether or not they're really telling you the truth, or maybe they're feeding you a bunch of non-truths just to get you to be okay with them. Then you have to look at their reputation, because if they have a reputation for lies, don't believe them. Run away from them. I am so sorry, I won't name them and make you angry here, but there are some politicians that have used the word misspoke so many times, I'm just sick of it. And they tell lies constantly, or they tell half-truths. So they're kind of, with their group in the background, they're trying to get me to join them. So they'll tell a half-truth. I'm really on your side and I really care about you and love you. But then they go off and they do the opposite thing that's going to hurt me. That says their reputation as for what they stand for is nothing. They will flip-flop. They will go in every direction. Don't believe them. Trust how you look at their reputation. If their reputation is bad, get away from them. Now, if you're on the side that I'm about to talk to, please don't leave me. I would love to continue to help you. But I'm going to use this as an example for reputation. We have heard for years and years and years that the Democrats are the only ones that have the beautiful utopia answer for America. But look at what we're in right now. Their reputation for that isn't working. We are being hurt. So my question is, if their reputation for having the truth is not panning out, why would I trust them? Why would I look at them when the world or America is burning and falling apart and say, oh yeah, I want to stay with them because, yeah, they're good, they're great. No, look at the facts of their reputation and determine by that, like I said in my last video, maybe I've been wrong on that one. Maybe I need to change because it's not working out like I thought. So go for their reputation. Then this is an oddball one, but it's true. Who are their enemies? If someone comes up to you and says, I believe this and that and this and that, look at their enemies. And then ask yourself, why is that person their enemy? Do they know something I don't know? Now, enemies tell lies. And maybe what they're saying about that person and the reason they're their enemy is because they're lying. And you can figure that out pretty quickly. But the first thing to do, or the fifth thing to do, is to say, who are their enemies and why are they their enemies? Now, this goes to our Christian faith. I'm a Christian and I live strictly by the Bible, and I want to be a good person. I want to treat people well. I want to love them. But there are a lot of people that are not Christians who really don't like me. And I can tell you why they don't like me. They don't like me because I stand for truths that they don't like. So if I'm standing for this truth and it's really good and they don't like me because of that, then maybe I'm the good person if this truth is good. See? And if the enemy is fighting me because I stand for truth, then it stands to reason they stand for untruth. So look at the enemies. Then this gets real personal. This one you can just lay back and say, okay, I'm going to think about this for a minute and I'm going to let you know what I think. And it's the smell test. You know, somebody spouts something and you say, well, that kind of sounds good, but it just doesn't smell right. It just doesn't fit. It makes me grate inside. Something's wrong here. If you get that kind of feeling, do more investigation because they're probably lying to you. And the last one is research. And that's about people, and that's about our faith, that's about parenting, that's about me, that's about anything you want to trust. Do your research. Ask yourself, like my dad did, how do you know? How does this person know? How does this person feel like they can give me some information that will help me? I've been married coming up on 48 years. I have a great marriage. Ron and I get into discussions, but we don't fight. We just get into discussions and I say, well, this is what I think. And he says, this is what I think. And I say, well, I think you're wrong. And he says, well, Debbie, we'll talk about it again, but I got to go mow the grass. That's about what we do. And he is wonderful and sweet and terrific to me. And I try my best to be wonderful and sweet and terrific to him. Do we make mistakes? Yeah, but we have a loving, good marriage. We have 3 children. I have twins, Jamie and Amy, and then I have Ken, a single. And they have families, and they're all wonderful, and I feel like I have had a good life. I have a degree in psychology, specifically child psychology. I'm a family specialist. I've been on TV. I've been on radio. I have a podcast. I have 2,000 books in my office. You can't see them because they're a mess right now. But they're all around me. I love to read. I love to think critical about things. I can look at you and say, trust me. But you know what I will never do? I will never tell you, you have to do this. Nope, I'll never do that. I will give you the facts. I will say this will help you. But I'm not going to live your life for you, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have to determine what is right for you. And you have to do all of these things. You have to look at my body language, my consistent comments, who I identify with, my reputation, my enemies. the smell test, and then you have to research. So what it breaks down to is that I feel like you can trust me because I'm going to tell you the truth, even if I don't like it. I'm going to tell you the truth. I remember one time when the kids were teenagers, they all three sat at the counter and they asked me, Mom, what about sex? What do you think about sex? Yikes. Now, most parents would either do the hiding thing or they would jump into, especially if they're Christians, jump into telling their kids, oh, you got to wait. And we got to have a long talk about this. Instead, I turned around and I was completely honest. I just said, I think it's great. And they all kind of, they looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, God made it. It's terrific. Sex is great. But he also put restraints on it. And if you do it at the wrong time or with the wrong person, it's going to ruin your life. So when you're ready, you come to me and we'll talk about how to put this in proper perspective for your life. To which they all knew that was a lecture. It meant, in our house, it meant going in the living room and sitting on the couch and talking for an hour and a half. And this was a Saturday afternoon. So they all said, oh, okay, thanks, Mom. We'll get back to you on that one. But I was honest. I wasn't about to tell them a lie. Yeah, sex, when done right, with the right person, under God's law, is terrific. And I'm going to be honest with you about what I see and what is right. And I'm never going to lie to you. That's a promise. So let me hold this up in case you want to write it down. You can pause the video and write this down. This is going to make you a fantastic start on how to tell if someone's lying to you. And remember, if they're lying, it's like trying to nail Jell-O to the wall. It will ruin your life. I hope you have a good day. I hope this helps you discern a little bit about what people are trying to tell you throughout the country. Don't believe the lies. Instead, go for truth. Like I say on my tagline, honest information for powerful lives. That's what we need. You can have a powerful life if you've got honest information. So look down there and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thanks for meeting with me today, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye-bye.